Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Students, I hope you all are keeping well, and I hope you all have gone through the previous videos and you have enjoyed. So let's start with the third video. Let's continue with our second lesson. Our second lesson is plants and animals. And before we start the lesson, let me show you some pictures. Children, what can you see in this picture? Yes, you can see a boy touching a pan, and since the pan is hot, he immediately moves his hand. And in this picture, the dog is chasing the man. Here, the man is freezing due to cold. And here, the girl is getting tired and exhausted due to sun's heat. Now children, what can you tell seeing these pictures? We have sense organs, and thus it enables us to feel the changes in our surroundings. So anything that causes a living organism to react is called a stimulus. The fifth aspect in which plants and animals differ is response to stimuli. When living things receive a stimulus from something in their surroundings, they respond to it. This characteristic of living things is called responsiveness to stimuli. Animals have sense organs which enable them to feel the changes in their surroundings. For example, on hearing a loud noise, animals may sometimes get frightened and run, especially during Diwali. Children, when we burst crackers, the dogs, they really get scared. On hearing a loud noise, birds sitting on a tree or pecking food on the ground may sometimes fly away. So children, see this dog, he is getting scared and he has hid under a table. And in this picture, you can see the birds, a flock of birds flying away from the tree. Now what about the plants? Do plants have sense organs? Let's see. Plants respond to external stimuli such as touch, light and gravity. Some responses are quick and some responses are slower as they involve changes in the growth. So let's see some examples. Children, this is a mimosa plant. It is also called as touch me not. If you touch this plant, the leaves will get closed immediately. This is a sunflower, and the sunflower will always take the direction of the sunlight. This is a sundew plant. Sundew plant, they trap the prey in sticky hairs on their leaves. Once an insect comes in contact with the sticky hair, the plant traps the insect. This is a Venus flytrap. The Venus flytrap, it uses its modified leaves or pads that snap shut when an insect lands. The sixth aspect we are going to see is reproduction. What is reproduction? Reproduction is the process by which living things produce young ones of their own kind. According to the mode of reproduction, animals are classified as viviparous and oviparous. Now children, let's see what is viviparous and what is oviparous. Let's see what are viviparous animals. Animals that give birth to their young ones directly are viviparous animals. Now, viviparous animals are born as live young individuals. They do not lay eggs. For example, a dog will give birth to its puppy. A goat will give birth to its kid. And yes, we are also called as viviparous animals because we too give birth to a individual, a live young individual. Let's see what are oviparous animals. Animals that lay eggs are called as oviparous animals. Let's see some examples. A hen will lay eggs and later these eggs are hatched into chicks. The snake will lay eggs and later it hatches into baby snakes. A frog lays eggs and later it hatches into tadpoles. And this is an ostrich. Ostrich also lays eggs. Ostrich eggs are the largest of all the eggs. Plants. Now, how do plants reproduce? In most plants, new plants grow from seeds. In the last video, children, we have learnt about germination. In many cases, however, new plants can also grow from different parts of the parent plant, such as roots, leaves, or stems. Such reproduction is called vegetative propagation. Why vegetative propagation, children? Because new plant is arising from the part of the plant itself. Let's see some examples of plant reproduction. The first one is from seeds. This is called as germination. From a seed we get a new plant. Examples are tomatoes, pea plant and many other. The next one is stem. In plants such as rose, a stem cutting can be used to grow a new plant. So when the stem cutting is planted in the soil, new shoots grow from the buds. And even potato and ginger plants, they are also called as underground stems. They have small buds on them, and when a portion of the stem is planted in the soil, new plants grow from these buds. So can you see the green color portion in the picture? That is called as the buds on a potato. Next is from roots. Now, potato is a stem, sweet potato is a root. In plants such as sweet potato, new plants grow from roots of the parent plant. Can you see the picture? So actually the sweet potato, it is actually a root and a plant arises from there. From leaves. In some plants such as bryophyllum, new plants grow from the leaves of the parent plant. Bryophyllum leaves contains buds on their margins. Can you see the leaflets on the margin of the main leaf? And when these buds fall onto the ground, they develop roots and grow into a new plant. Now children, let's see a recap of the entire lesson. The characteristic features what we learnt in both plants and animals were food, growth, movement, response to stimuli, reproduction and breathing. So let's see. In food, most plants prepare their own food, so they are called as producers. And animals, they cannot prepare their own food and animals are called as consumers. Growth, in plants, grow throughout their lives, and in animals they grow till they reach a certain size, after which they stop growing. Then comes movement. Plants are fixed to the ground, but parts of a plant can move. And in animals, animals move from one place to another in search of food and shelter. Response to stimuli. Plants do not have sense organs. Their response to stimuli is slow. Animals have sense organs. Their response to stimuli is very fast. Reproduction. Most plants reproduce through seeds, and animals, they reproduce by laying eggs or by giving birth to young ones. So they may be called as oviparous or viviparous animals. Breathing. Plants breathe through stomata, and different animals breathe through different organs such as nose, lungs, gills, spiracles or skin. Now children, we have completed this lesson and let's learn some keywords. Lifespan. The specific period of time for which a living thing lives is called as lifespan. Photosynthesis. It is a process by which green plants convert carbon dioxide and water into food in the presence of sunlight. And what is reproduction? It is a process by which living things produce young ones of their own kind. Breathing. The process by which living things take in oxygen from the atmosphere and give out carbon dioxide is called as breathing. And what are spiracles? Tiny holes on the body of insects used for breathing is called as spiracles. Children, it's now activity time. This time the activity is again very easy. You just need to write from which part the new plants grow in the following plants: rose, garlic, strawberry and ginger. And you need to identify the following animals as viviparous or oviparous. Yes children, I hope the activity is very easy. And as usual, as I say, please after doing this activity, drop it in your class group. So children, we have finished our lesson number 2 and now you are ready to do the book back exercises. And please do it. Learn the concepts from all the 3 videos. Read your e-book. Yes children, and keep smiling. Stay safe. Thank you.